Hi guys, and welcome back to Reed's Readers with your host, Clinton Reed! Still the flaming 80s hairdo. But as I said in my last tag video, I found another RuPaul's Drag Race book tag. This one is just called the Drag Race Book Tag. And it was originally done by the Naughty Librarian. I will link her channel, her original video down below. I have my handy dandy phone over here so that I can read the challenges to you. I had actually a little bit of difficulty choosing only one book for some of these. Let me move my stack to over here so I can better grab them. So if you see me reach out of the frame, it's because they're there. But I know you get extra bonus points if you feature stories or authors or characters that are part of the LGBTQI plus community. She says, why? Because representation matters. And oh my god, she did this around the time of All Stars 3 last year. Lord Jesus, it's been a while. But let's get into this. Question number 1 is charisma. Okay, some of these, what RuPaul looks for in a queen, before we get into that, what RuPaul looks for in a queen is for a queen to be a C-U-N-T. She wants them to have charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. So, hint why 4 of these are those. Just to explain to those who have never seen Drag Race. Okay? Just thought I'd do a little lesson. Charisma. Name a character who has charisma for days. Now, I couldn't help but name 2 bisexual characters. Well, I'm pretty sure one's a lesbian, but whatever. But my first character I went with is Monty from The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. He just oozes charisma. He has this way of getting any woman he wants, any man he wants, getting out of situations just by staring and just talking his way out of situations. So I couldn't not mention Monty because when you think charisma, he's the first person I ever think. We'll sit that down there. And I also couldn't not mention Morgan from the ACOTAR series. She is just this badass woman, proud of who she is, damn well determined. And when I think of a female character that oozes charisma, she's the first person that pops in my head. Because I feel like she stands in front of me and tells me to jump off a bridge. I'm like, okay, bye guys, love you. But yeah. Next is uniqueness, a unique take on a common theme. Now, would this be a book tag if I didn't mention my favorite author, Adriana Mather with Killing November? This is my ARC copy. Got a little beat up in the bringing it back. This takes the private school trope and flips it on its edge. It also takes the mystery, hunting down, figuring out your past kind of tropes and flips it. So I don't want to say more than that, but this takes some unique twists and turns that I've never seen in a novel. Which, I'm not saying those turns and stuff aren't out there, it's just this was my first introduction to it. And if I am introduced to the others, I will probably always say this was done better, because it's Adriana, and yeah. I was trying my damnedest not to put her in the tag, but hey, she ended up there anyways. Next is, ooh, can you stop flipping? Thank you. Nerve. Name a book that's full of daring and nerve-wracking experiences. When I thought of that, I thought of the only book that I've read that has given me anxiety to the sake of I've now read this author's all 3 of their books. Fucking love him. This is still going to be my favorite because it's the first one I've read by him, even though his latest one I thought was written a little bit better. But my heart still goes to this book, and I know there's no like gay characters in this one, or Killing November has a gay character, at least. Okay, there's lesbians in it, but they don't want to admit that they're lesbians. I just say that they're canon. Just go with me. And that is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. This is a thriller about, oh god, what's the character's name? Emma, who several years ago, she was living in a cabin, and all the girls in that cabin just up and disappeared one night. Several years later, she's a famous artist, or she's a rising star in the art scene, and she's invited back to the camp, and she stays in the same cabin, and the girls in that cabin disappear too, and she has to relive everything all over again. That's all I'm going to say, because it's a thriller, and I think everyone should go into a thriller sort of blind. But yes, there were parts of this book that had my heart racing, and I'm like, no. Don't do that. And there was 2 twists in it. I saw one coming, but I so did not see that other. Just saying. But yeah. Next is talent. Name an underrated author that you love and think more people should hear about. Now, I chose 2 authors for this. I could have thrown Adriana on here, but I feel like I praise her enough in my videos right now. Which, by the way, read Killing November. One of these was a famous sort of author back in the day, and I don't think she's came out with anything recently. We're still waiting on the ending to one of her other books. We've been waiting 10 years for. Over 10 years now. We've been waiting since 98, bitch. Give us the ending. But I went with L.J. Smith, and such an underrated series is the Secret Circle series. So I had to bring that up in this video, which is about witches in sunny... Does it say the name of the town? But it's about witches to control New Salem for hundreds of years. She's drawn into the Secret Circle, a thrill that both intoxicating and deadly. I need to reread this series. It's one of my all-time favorite series, and I feel like more people need to read it, because what she's known for mainly is Vampire Diaries, but I feel like Secret Circle doesn't get the representation it deserves. And I'm sorry, the TV show we got 1 season, was 10 times better than the 3 seasons I've seen of Vampire Diaries so far. Popular opinion. Sorry about it. And then I also had to mention Alex Sanchez, who hasn't came out with an actual novel in a while. He now does picture. He now takes photographs and does those coffee table books. But my first introduction to him was the Rainbow Boys series, which follows Jason, Kyle, and Nelson as they discover their sexuality and stuff like that. So yes, if you haven't read either one of these authors, I highly recommend both these books. I also recommend Miss Adriana back there. But yeah. So I had to mention and give both these love. I don't give L.J. Smith enough love on this channel. So I feel like I need to do a reread. May do a reread of this next year and do maybe a read along if anyone wants to join. Maybe at the end of the year. I'd say I would do it now, but I got a read along coming up. Keep your eyes posted. Your eyes posted. Keep your eyes out. Whatever the saying is. Next is Shade. Pick a villain who is particularly devious. When it mentioned pick a villain that was devious, the first one that popped up ahead is the villain I hate the most in the entire world. Dolores Jane Umbridge. The difference between her and Voldemort is Voldemort knew he was evil. He knew what he was doing. She thought what she was doing was for the greater good. Well, so did Voldemort. Voldemort's more like Hitler, thinking what he's doing is to purify his race. She's just a crazy fat bitch. Pardon the language, but hello. And I'm sorry if I ever met Umbridge in person, I would punch a bitch. But she did get her last desserts with the centaurs. And if anyone knows anything about the centaur myths, about what they do when they kidnap a woman and drag them back to their home, you'll understand why I think she got her just desserts. And it is the darkest representation I've ever seen in a book. But yeah, we're just going to end it there. Next is Lip Sync for Your Life. My favorite of every episode. Choose a book with elements of performance or music in it, such as Will Grayson, Will Grayson. I went with one that doesn't necessarily have the performance in it, per se, but does discuss said person's performances in movies and television and stuff like that. I went with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid because when I think performances, I'm such a huge fan of old Hollywood and Marilyn Monroe, which if y'all ever get to see in any of my vlogs, there's so many Marilyn Monroe posters over on that side. And she reminds me of like an Elizabeth Taylor, a Cuban Elizabeth Taylor. For those of you who are living underneath a rock and don't know what Evelyn Hugo is about, Evelyn Hugo is about this 80-year-old woman telling her life story to a no-name reporter, giving her the inside scoop on her 7 husbands and telling her the truth of who she loves. And then the reporter can do whatever she wants with it, but can't do it until after Evelyn passes away. This is such an amazing story. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it because it's adult lit. It's like, it's not quite chick lit, but it's like literature fiction, but it's told like a memoir, and I just wanted to know more about this woman's life. And HBO, Showtime, Hulu, Netflix, pick this up. Give us a TV show because that's all we want. And last but not least, Sashay Away, a book with a shocking ending. I will state this book title tells us what's gonna happen. But I went with book 3 to the Diviner series called Before the Devil Breaks You. And the Devil Breaks You. It's been a while since I've cried at an ending. Well, this and Serpent King by Jeff Zentner are the 2 that I cried the most at. Well, 3 if you count More Happy Than Not. These are my 3 most cry-worthy books. But there's something that happens in this that you do not see coming, and that will shatter you. I need the next book like in my hands today. But it doesn't come out to 2020. Little Bray, hurry up! I need the book. That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to give away the ending. For those of y'all don't know what the Diviner series is about, it's about set in the 1920s. Psychics help solve serial murder cases that are done by ghosts and spirits and a person called the King of the Crows. Yeah. And that is all of the Drag Race book tag part 2. And again, like I tagged in the last video, I would like to tag Charlie Brooke and Emily from Novell Novels because both are fucking phenomenal. and they gave me my favorite t-shirt I freaking own of Nina West, one of my all-time favorite drag queens. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe. You know you wanna. Until next time, remember kids, reading is what? Fun. Ooh, that pop was bad. Hold on. There we go. Remember kids, reading is what? Fundamental. Until next time, bye!